Now we start in the Middle East, where Israel is sending more troops to the Syrian border amid escalating tensions. The Israeli military confirmed it has reinforced positions along the frontier. Earlier, the army said it struck the entrance of Syria's military headquarters in Damascus using drones. Meanwhile, deadly clashes in southern Syria have claimed at least 248 lives, according to monitors in the region. The city of Sweida, a Druze stronghold, has seen heavy fighting. Israel has warned Syrian government troops to withdraw from the area. The IDF has also reported dozens of suspects attempting to cross into Israel from Syria. Officials say Druze fighters from Israel may have crossed into Syria amid the unrest. Damascus has promised to punish those responsible for abuses in Sweida after reports of executions and rights violations surfaced. The region remains very much on edge, with both sides mobilizing and airstrikes continuing. We're now joined by Ross Feingold, who's a political risk analyst. He joins us live from Taipei, Taiwan. Ross, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Ross, this unrest, people may have only heard about it today, but it is an ongoing situation in Syria. What strategic objectives here might Israel be pursuing by reinforcing its positions along the Syrian border at this juncture?
To put it simply, Israel does not trust the new Syrian government, especially given the new government's background as an Islamist terrorist organization. Israel has made it very clear over the past 6 months that any movement of weapons and personnel by the Syrian military are going to be met with a very swift Israeli military response. And they're continuing to do that even when it seems like this is a matter of internal ethnic strife within Syria. But as long as the government-controlled military forces move their men and weapons, then Israel is going to intervene.
Ross, earlier in the day, we saw a drone strike on Syria's military headquarters in the capital. What does this mean, both tactically and symbolically?
Well, tactically, again, it's part of Israel's ongoing action against the Syrian military, which, again, Israel has made very clear that they will pursue at times of their own choosing, of Israel's own choosing. And symbolically, it demonstrates to all the relevant stakeholders, whether that's people in Israel or people in Syria, various armed groups in Syria, as well as, of course, the new government of Syria, that Israel is very serious about this, that Israel has very low tolerance for the movement of military forces in Syria, especially if it comes close to the borders with Israel. And Israel is going to take action. And they've continued to do that over the past 6 months after the Assad regime was overthrown. So symbolically, again, it demonstrates that Israel has this ability. They will back up their threats, and they will use that ability.
Ross, for those who don't know about the region, who are the Druze people and where does this unrest stem?
You know, the interesting thing about the Druze minority who live in different countries in the region, including Syria, including Lebanon, including Israel, is in Israel, they are a part of society ever since Israel became independent. Druze serve in Israel's military, and they've done so very valiantly. And within Syria, they've been considered a minority whose rights have at times been repressed by the Assad regime. And the Druze have very legitimate concerns that under a new Sunni regime, their rights might also be repressed. You know, it's not a surprise in an unstable situation that Syria still remains in, that there are still Druze armed groups. And until they feel comfortable with the statements or the promises of the new government that it's going to treat all religious minorities equally and fairly, and that they'll be safe in the new Syria, it comes as no surprise that they are retaining their weapons and they're not willing to give them up yet.
Ross, what might be the wider geopolitical implications of this? Obviously, the US is a staunch ally of Israel. However, it has also lifted sanctions on Syria, crippling sanctions on Syria. And then that led us to reporting earlier this week that Syria has just announced massive investment in the capital in particular. What are your thoughts on the possible future geopolitical implications of if this violence continues to escalate?
That's a really good question. One thing to watch is going to be the reaction from the Gulf states. You mentioned the recent announcement about significant investment in the port in Syria by Dubai's ports company. Qatar has invested a lot of their own political capital in trying to reach a ceasefire agreement in Gaza between Hamas and Israel. Saudi Arabia is of course, is close to the Trump administration. So one thing to watch, excuse me, one thing to watch here is the reaction from those Gulf states, and are they going to criticize Israel's intervention, or are they going to remain silent, or are they going to take the side of the new Syrian government and show some support for it? That's a question mark as of the moment, but definitely worth watching.
Ross, thank you. You are staying with us to discuss further updates.